Step 6 of us going to Oslo Horse Show of 27 means finding the rhythm, balance and strength in the arena. Now, our plan for the spring was almost ended before it had even started, with Chica getting colic right at our very first competition. But now we put down some hard work for us to get back into the arena towards the next competition. So get ready, because this means jumping, pole work, hacking, and of course some time to rest in between the lessons. This lesson was our first time back with some pole work, and our initial thought was to just stick with the poles on the ground. But then Chica was super positive, so we decided to try at least one small jump, just to check how she behaved towards the fence. Overall, Chica was very positive and forward going, although kind of explosive in the trot. Considering she had at this point hadn't been ridden over the poles for at least 6 weeks, it was expected that she'd have some excitement towards the poles and jump. But overall, this gave me a great feeling towards the future lessons. Moving on to one of the more important lessons, where we ended with a course around 80 to 90 centimeter, with also one fence at 1 meter. Here we decided to test Chica's confidence, and boy did she respond so well. We started easy with some small jumps to warm up, before we moved on to some diagonals with one simple jump. Here we just tried to find our flow and just simply working together. Here I think Chica jumped so well, we really found our strides and our rhythm in the canter as well. She was excited, but not too overly excited, as she was in the previous pole session. And now we're starting to set the line together to a simple course, starting with the diagonal and the small upright. Moving on to the next diagonal, and here we simply knocked the whole fence down. Chica was not too happy with that. We had a circle before we moved on to the line, and we came in wrong at the cross, came in too tight at the upright, and it all just became too much for us. So we tried again. This time it went so much better. Chica is still young, and we're still struggling with her adjusting herself to when it becomes a small distance. So you may see that it's a bit tight between the upright and the 2 strides to the oxer in the combination. Here we up the fences a few centimeters, making it to a 80 to 90, and then ending the course with a 1 meter jump. Again, just taking our time with the circles, making sure we have our rhythm, balance, before moving on to the combination. And here it was a bit tight and making the jump a bit too high, not overly comfortable, but then we ended this session with one small jump over the upright to begin with. Chica gave me such a great feeling in this session, making us ready towards our next competition. I also think it's super important to never forget the basics. hence focusing on groundwork and pole work, always adjusting ourselves when necessary. In this lesson, we focused on adjustability and keeping calm. Step 6 might not be checked just yet, but stay tuned for the journey that is to come.